Ducks Unlimited's job is dedicated to the cause of waterfowl, to the task of replenishing the supply of ducks and geese on the North American continent. This Ducks Unlimited has been able to do through the contributions of sportsmen and others in the United States and Canada, and the support of the Dominion and provincial governments and the farmers of the prairie provinces. Without this truly splendid example of international cooperation between the sportsmen of two nations, the success of Ducks Unlimited may never have been attained. Exactly what has Ducks Unlimited done? Let's take a look at the evidence. The first project, begun in 1938, was the restoration of Big Grass Marsh. Today, one of the most productive wildlife habitats in Manitoba. Since then, DU has built over 700 dams and water control structures throughout Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. And now the prairies are dotted with more than 500 DU projects giving life to our waterfowl. It's no exaggeration to say that every sportsman on this continent owes a debt of gratitude to all who made this work possible.
If it were not for the conservation activities of men who wish to kill game, little game would be left for others to see.
After fighting wars across Europe and Asia, the country would find itself on the edge of an era. Americans built rocket ships, pioneered computers, rolled thunderously powerful cars off the assembly line, which then raced across the newly completed interstate highway system. And middle-class America enjoyed prosperity and leisure never seen before. For many, this stability meant that money and time could be spent in the field and in the marsh. DU's fundraising efforts in the United States up to that point was largely focused on the wealthy, but it was the stable and prosperous middle class that needed to be reached if DU wanted to continue its work for the ducks. To reach the middle class, DU turned to Dale E. Whitesell. A graduate of Ohio State University, Whitesell had served 14 years with the Ohio Division of Wildlife. He had a stellar reputation in Ohio among those who valued wildlife and was even dreaded by those who did not, for he had been relentless in pursuing those who polluted Ohio's rivers. Whitesell understood that the key to Ducks Unlimited's success has always been, and always will be, the volunteers who give so much of their time and effort to make sure its conservation is funded.
In those days, 65% of our income came from only 6% of our members. The dinner program we started changed all of that.
Our big idea, other than starting chapters everywhere we could gather 5 duck hunters together, was to include the membership with the price of the dinner.
The year after Dale Whitesell was hired, DU had its first $1 million year. While no explicit records exist tracing the origins of the modern membership dinner concept, the paper trail does seem to point back to the Badger State. During his tenure, Ducks Unlimited became the premier wetlands and waterfowl conservation organization in the world. Annual income grew from $700,000 to $50 million, and membership soared to almost 600,000.
I had not been chewed out more by any one person than him in my entire life, but also that I've never respected a man more.